Good morning, Monday morning, my love things. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope that you got some rest or some relaxation or some fun in whatever it is you needed for your spirit to be okay to start yet another week. I hope you got it over the weekend. Child, I worked. Okay. I wasn't supposed to, but I ended up working. That's okay though. Because, corn is a coin is a coin, honey. Um, but anyway, I hope you all had a great weekend. You didn't see fuck shit or shit talking, cause child, I was busy and I just simply didn't have the time to get it out. But y'all had enough entertainment down here on the YouTube streets. Did y'all see how TSCC and Wiley and everybody was able to go out of town and have a beautiful vacation, gaycation, staycation? That was absolutely beautiful. I love it when content creators can get together and have a good time and it be no drama. I guarantee you when we come back, well, when these people come back from these trips, watch, you ain't gonna hear nothing because you could feel the love exuding from these people. Even though there was a small little tiff between Rico and NVS. You see how that shit came back together? See how it came back full circle while you two was on fire? Y'all thought y'all had some teeth said and I didn't. That's sad where people want to see people get into it and fall out with one another. Now, y'all know I ain't with that meeting up with no YouTuber shit. I'm still scarred, bitch. I ain't with that. But they gave me hope that maybe one day I'll come out of my shell and actually come around other content creators like myself one day. So that was a beautiful thing. I appreciated seeing all the footage, and I just wish them nothing but the best. But family, I want to come in since I didn't give y'all a trending topic at the end of the week and start the week off talking about some stuff, just some cases that or some situations going on in the world that we haven't talked about. And the first article that I ran up on that I found to be very interesting is that Alabamains defend arrest a woman whose fetus died during shooting. And the article goes on to read, it comes from the New York Times if you want to go look it up for yourself. Or if I remember, I'll put it in the pinned comment so you can read it for yourself. But it says that, matter of fact, let me go on and try to see if I can grab that clip right now so I can put it in the pinned comments because I always like to give y'all a reference tool for the stuff I talk about. So, child, it says in the days since police officer arrested Marsha Jones, she's saying she started a fight that resulted in her unborn baby getting fatally shot. The hate mail has poured in. I will encourage all U.S. business owners to boycott your town, a woman from San Diego wrote on the Facebook page of the Pleasant Grove Police Department. Misogynistic trash, wrote another. Fire the chief and arresting officers, wrote a third. But Robert Knight, the police chief, said in his office had little choice in the matter. If the laws what it say? If the laws are there, we are sworn to enforce them. That's what we're doing. Around the country, the case of Miss Jones, who was indicted by a grand jury for manslaughter, has served as a stark illustration of how pregnant women can be judged and punished when a fetus is threatened as a person by the justice system. Activists also cited it as a demonstration of the dangers of personhood movement, which pushes for rights of fetuses to be recognized as equal to or even more important than the rights of the mothers who carry them. Many are now watching as the movement gains momentum in Alabama, which has already had some restricted reproductive rights in the country come along. But in Pleasant Grove, a city of 10,000 people on the western outskirts of Birmingham, the case appears to have caused little controversy. Gun rights are popular there. Reproductive rights are not. Many conversations in the city focused on how harshly Miss Jones was punished, not whether she was culpable. Outside Hills, Outside Hills Foodland, the city's only grocery store. Two mothers raising money for the Pleasant Grove Middle School cheerleading squad said that both Miss Jones, 28, and the other woman who shot her should face some consequences, perhaps anger management classes for the death of the fetus. In the state of Alabama, an unborn baby has the same rights as a living, said Sharonda Hall of 38, who earned her bachelor's degree in criminal justice and is hoping to attend law school. Most people agree with it. Others said prison time would be appropriate. Inside a local restaurant, a retired musician said that from what he had heard so far about the case, he believed the indictment was fair. You have to go by the law, he says. The notion that the law should treat a fetus like a person is widely held in Alabama. Lawmakers passed the most restrictive anti-abortion bill in the country in May, banning abortions at any stage of pregnancy, even in the cases of rape or incest. A protest against the measure in Birmingham drew only about 2,000 people in a metropolitan area that is home to more than 1 million. Last November, Alabama voters approved a ballot measure that amended the state's constitution to recognize the sanctity of unborn life as rights of unborn children and the rights of unborn children. In the wake of that vote, a Madison County judge ruled that a 19-year-old man could pursue a wrongful death charge against a clinic and a pharmaceutical company that provided the abortion pill to his girlfriend. It is that case, not the case of Miss Jones, that pushes the envelope for personhood for many in Alabama. An attorney who filed a wrongful death suit on a contingency basis said that the case law had already established personhood for fetuses who perish at the hands of reckless people such as drunk drivers or domestic abusers. His is the first case, he said, to establish personhood for even an unborn aborted child. He acknowledged that the conferring personhood so early in pregnancy has the potential to affect everything from fertility treatment, which discards fertilized eggs that aren't used, to the freedom of women to play risky sports or drink wine. At this stage, we don't know all of the ramifications. Every time I speak to someone, they come up with something new. Years of legal precedents in Alabama have set the stage for this debate. Under Alabama's law, life begins at conception. It says a professor of constitutional law at the University of Alabama School of Law. The question is whether that is consistent with federal constitutional laws. He said that in a case like Ms. Jones, the federal courts could be asked to decide whether the state law that defines a fetus as a person is trumped by the constitutionally protected rights to due process and equal protection. Hundreds of women have been prosecuted in the state for exposing their fetuses to controlled substances under a 2006 chemical endangerment law, according to investigation by ProPublica and AL.com. In Pleasant Grove, 3 women who were addicted to drugs have been prosecuted for chemical endangerment in recent years. Last year, Jessica Lindsay, 29, was sentenced to 10 years in prison after pleading guilty to chemical endangerment for using heroin while pregnant. Raven West, a heroin addict who gave birth to a stillborn, received 5-year suspended sentence last year. Alexander Lord, who gave birth to 2 children who tested positive for heroin, received 2 suspended 10-year sentences and access to treatment programs, according to court records. These cases have sometimes put police at odds with doctors who urge that prosecuting pregnant addicts discourages them from seeking treatment they need. But in each of the cases, the Pleasant Grove Police, who served as spokesman for the 16-officer department, Danny Reed, gave passionate public statements about the need to protect the rights of unborn children, fetuses. Okay. A similar approach can be seen in the case of Miss Jones. Shortly after the shooting, which took place in December, Lieutenant Reed told reporters that the mother's culpability will be presented to a grand jury. The investigation showed that the only true victim in this was the unborn baby, he said. It was the mother of the child who initiated and continued to fight. Miss Jones was 5 months pregnant, working at a company in Pleasant Grove that sells fuel for fires, when she got involved in an altercation in the parking lot of a Dollar General. The fight stemmed from a long simmering feud between a female co-worker, Ebony Jimson, 23, over a man who worked at the same company. Miss Jones spotted Miss Jimson in the parking lot and started a fight with her, according to law enforcement officers with direct knowledge of the investigation who did not want to be identified. By the officer's account, Miss Jones was winning the fight and had Miss Jimson pinned to the car. After taking repeated blows, the officer said Jimison reached for her gun, fired point blank into Miss Jones' stomach. Miss Jones was driven to the hospital in a car that apparently broke down on the way. Paramedics eventually arrived and took her to the hospital, but her fetus, struck by the bullet, died. This account of the fight differs from others that have been offered in recent days, which have suggested that Miss Jimison fired a warning shot to the ground and the bullet bounced up and hit Miss Jones in the belly. Pleasant Grove officers initially arrested Miss Jimison, but the grand jury declined to indict her, concluding that she acted in self-defense. Then it took the unusual step of indicting Miss Jones for initiating a fight knowing she was 5 months pregnant. The police were surprised by the decision, according to the law enforcement officer, but agreed with its logic. Reached by phone on Friday night, the forewoman of the grand jury, Michelle Cagle, said she was unaware of the national furor. She declined to discuss the details of the case, but said that it was one of hundreds of cases the jury heard over the course of a few days. She said the jurors did their best to probe the truth and follow Alabama law. You think certain things, but then when you look at the law, it's different, she says. Since the furor erupted, prosecutors have distanced themselves from the charges. The statement of the office of Lanice Washington, the district attorney for part of Jefferson County, emphasized that no decision had yet been made about whether to go to trial, file lesser charges against Ms. Jones, or dismiss the case altogether. A decision is expected within a week. Foremost, it should be stated that this is truly a tragic case, the statement said. We feel sympathy for the families involved, including Ms. Jones, who lost an unborn child. Ms. Washington, a Democrat, became Alabama's first black female district attorney when she was elected in 2016 by a slim margin of about 300 votes. This case is being closely watched by liberal reproductive rights advocates in Birmingham, as well as conservative voters in her district. Ms. Jones was taken into custody on Wednesday, posted the bail the following day with the help of her family and the Yellowhammer Fund, an organization that supports abortion rights. Her attorney, Mark White, whose law firm has taken on the case, said Ms. Jones was resting in an undisclosed location. She's devastated, he said. After being shot, Ms. Jones lost her unborn baby, her job, and her house, which burned down in an unrelated incident, Mr. White said. Now she is facing criminal prosecution in a case that could land her in prison for years, depriving her 6-year-old daughter of a mother. If you look at the 5 top stress factors that humans can experience, she may be the only person we've encountered that got all 5 simultaneously, Mr. White said. Mr. White said many lawyers in Birmingham were outraged about how his client had been treated and urged the law firm to take her case. His legal team spent the weekend poring over case law and investigating the facts. By Monday morning, we will file a motion to dismiss that will show this indictment to be illegal, inappropriate, and unprecedented. The motion will also give examples of the additional dangers this type of prosecution presents for rule of law. Ms. Jones' lawyers have not decided whether to challenge the notion of conferring parenthood on a fetus, which is enshrined in Alabama law. Indeed, Ms. Jones views the fetus that died in the shooting, as a baby. She gave it a name, Marlasia Jones. She had it cremated and the ashes placed in an urn. Y'all, let me tell you something. I think this is kind of crazy, okay? Now, my first concern is, first of all, how the hell is it that you 5 months pregnant and you go out here to fight a woman you've got beef with over a man that work at this store? You was molly-whopping, according to the reports of this girl, this Ebony chick. When you got the best of her, this girl pulled out a gun. Now, some say she fired a warning shot to the ground and the bullet bounced up and hit you in the stomach. Some are saying that the girl actually shot you in your stomach, which later caused you to miscarry because you were tried to be taken to a hospital in a vehicle that broke down. Paramedics had to come, and by the time they got you secured to the hospital, your baby passed. Now, then you get charged for the crime. But Miss Jemison, who brandished the gun in the first place, see, it was a fight. But this Ebony Jemison, pulled out a weapon, and she was able to walk free. The grand jury didn't even indict her, simply because they going by this law that Alabama seems to be trying to push, where it takes basically the rights of parents to do as they feel that they should in the beginning of the pregnancy with their child. They want to take that out your seat. This is where I think that the law goes a little bit too far sometimes. Now, that may not be the popular opinion. Now, I understand them saying that the fetus was considered a human being, therefore had rights. I get that. But how the hell does the shooter family get away from being indicted, but the person who got shot and lost their child didn't? True that. Marche should have thought about the consequence. I always say, y'all heard me say this before, and some people think it's funny, but I don't really be playing when I say it. Your face ain't pregnant, okay? That's the thing. If these women, this is how I carried myself when I was pregnant. When I was pregnant, I was not going to be out here tussling and with nobody. I just wasn't going to be doing that. That wasn't my ministry, sis. That wasn't my ministry. I stayed in my lane and I set my ass down. But there are women who still would get down and rumble with you. And I feel like, honestly, if something happens to this baby that person is carrying, because they didn't know how to sit their ass down and wait till they at least had their baby. If you're going to come back at a bitch, come back at her when you're 100%. You know 100% when you're pregnant. But I don't agree with this woman being charged with a crime or being indicted on this charge, and the shooter who actually pulled the gun out, wouldn't have been no gun if it wasn't for Ebony. So why is she able to walk away? I do feel like Marche, the victim, did have some, I feel like she caused some of this problem on herself, because if you knew you was 5 months pregnant, you shouldn't have had your ass out there trying to fight with no woman over no man, no damn way. Okay? First of all, y'all look stupid as hell. But if you're going to be out there fighting, it could have just remained that. I feel like Ebony is the one that brought the gun out, so Ebony should not have walked away from an indictment. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I feel. And I also feel like that the government is getting a little bit too damn involved. See, in one spot, you see where they trying to get so heavily involved in possibly, quote unquote, in this air quote, protecting children. But y'all don't do it in the cases you could. See, while you worried about Ebony and Marche having this fight, what about the little girl over in Texas who had a brain, it had a skull fractured and everything, but y'all kept putting this child back in the home, and now she is nothing but a memory to many these days. See, I feel like they be, and this might be all over the place. I don't give a damn. Y'all getting what I'm saying? I don't understand. 1 minute it seems as if the government is right in the fact that they need to be more vigilant on these kids and how they are, reared and who they give them to. I get that. I'm at a loss at how this fetus, although important, I don't understand how Alabama is so strict on these laws that it's okay to indict the mother for losing the baby because she initiated and continued to fight this girl. But the girl that actually pulls a weapon out don't get no kind of charges. She walks free from this. Make that shit make sense to me. Me and you get into a fight. I'm 5 months pregnant. Now, I know that I should not be out here tussling with you, but I'm whooping your ass. Okay? You get mad and pull a gun out on me. Whether you shot a warning shot to the ground and the bullet ricocheted or you shot me directly, either way, you pulled out a gun and you tried to hurt me. Me whooping your ass didn't make you feel like your life was in danger. Girl, you was getting your ass whooped. But you pulled a gun out and you shot this woman in her stomach, causing her baby to die. And instead of both of y'all facing some type of charge, see, I would have been better with that. I would have understood better if they would have said, we're going to charge them both with something. But to just simply charge the mother, I don't understand that. I got a problem with that. Maybe it's me. Y'all get down in the panic section and let me know your thoughts and opinions on this. I'm confused, family. I'm confused. I don't understand that. I get what Alabama is saying, but at the same time, you lost me when you did not seek charges on the other girl, the actual shooter. You shoot me in my shit, caused me to lose my baby. And you mean to tell me you don't face no kind of charges? They just simply come at me? Now, again, I understand what they're saying. You knew you had a whole gut full of human before you went out there with the fighting that woman. That probably wasn't the best decision for you. I can see them coming at her with something. Not nothing deep, but something. But to let the person who actually pulled the weapon and shot it walk scot-free, I'm confused. Again, the government is putting their hands in too many irons in the fire. Y'all willing to protect a fetus who hasn't even become a human and come out the mama yet, but y'all don't give a damn about these thousands upon thousands of children y'all putting back into the homes with these parents or, and people that are not worthy to have them, and these kids ending up dead. Y'all ain't got no problem with that. But you over here dead set on trying to send Marsha Jones to jail for getting shot in the stomach while she was having a fight while she was pregnant. I am never a proponent of a pregnant woman getting out of line. Because a lot of people feel just like I do. Your face ain't pregnant. But this is not that case. This is a girl that knew this girl was pregnant and deliberately shot her in her stomach. Child, somebody please. Come on. Make this make sense. Maybe I'm just a little too old. Maybe it's too damn early in the morning. I don't know. Somebody talk to me. Sound off in the comment section because I'm confused, family. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. Where the hell they do that at? Child, anyway. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to leave that for y'all to discuss with me down in the comment section. And I'm sure going to be vigilant on the comment sections today because I really want to know how people feel. And I'm open to hearing what you say. Again, keep it cute in my comments because you're not going to be disrespectful to me for my opinion or anyone else. We're going to treat each other like decent human beings or I will block and delete your ass. That's simple as it is right there. I'm not for the people getting ugly. We're not going to turn this into no race thing. We're going to turn this into exactly what it is, a discussion among adults about a situation that is currently happening in this country today that we all want to sound off on. That's it. Anything other than that, you will be blocked and your comment will be deleted. And that's it. Now, I'm going to get on up out of here because I really want to hear what y'all got to say. Y'all sound off in them comments here. I want to know exactly how you feel. As long as you ain't coming at me crazy or nobody in the comments, child, if there you want to say, I'm going to let it stand today, okay? Because this one really got me. I've been puzzled about this all weekend, but I didn't have time to jump in and have a conversation. You know, I even talked to some people about it, and they was like, this shit didn't make sense to them either. Girl, I'm confused. Y'all help me. Help me, family, help me. Sometimes together, you know, we can make sense out of shit that don't make sense to us individually. So y'all help me today make sense out of this. Because this, I ain't never heard no child. This is some foolery and some fuckery all together. This ain't even a hoot and a holler. This is some foolery and fuckery. And it's re-damn ridiculous that this is going on in this country. Girl, it makes me feel some kind of way. We come up with some crazy stuff. But help me understand. And understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the girl was not wrong for having a fight at 5 months into her pregnancy. I'm just trying to figure out how the hell I get shot and lose my baby and I go to jail, but this girl walks free. Girl, help me understand. That's it. That's all. Y'all remember the depth of your struggle will determine the height of your success. In the meantime, in between time, please remember to rate the video. Ratings get me recognized on these YT streets. Comment down below in the panic section. Sound off today. If you have not become a love thing today for the free 99, please hit the follow or the subscribe button, depending on which platform you are listening to me via from. And if you're on YouTube and you subscribe, please tap your notification bell button twice so that each and every time I drop a pre-recorded video or go live from this channel, you'll be notified and you can come in and weigh in your thoughts and opinions on what we talking about in that particular video. Y'all, please help me with this one today because this one threw me way off and I've been off balance all weekend over this. I don't understand. Maybe it's something in me. Maybe I'm too old. Maybe I need somebody younger to point out to me. Make this make sense. Girl, bye.